What happens when a superstar gets blindsided mid-game and the league just shrugs it off? When a vicious hit drops Caitlin Clark to the hardwood and the referees pretend it never happened, fans don't stay quiet. The internet exploded. The commentators were stunned, and now the WNBA is in the middle of a credibility crisis they can't spin their way out of. Marina Mabrey's shove wasn't just a foul, it became the spark that lit a firestorm. And what the league did after the final buzzer might be even more outrageous than what happened on the court. Because this isn't just about one dirty play, it's about favoritism, double standards, and a league that seems more reactive than responsible. And the question now is simple. Has the WNBA lost control of its own game? What started as a high-stakes showdown between the Indiana Fever and Connecticut Sun quickly spiraled into something far more chaotic, something that exposed a much deeper issue within the WNBA. The game featured 6 technical fouls, 3 ejections, and enough flagrant plays to make fans question whether this was basketball or a demolition derby. But in the middle of all the madness, one moment stood out, and not in a good way. Late in the game, Marina Mabrey charged at Caitlin Clark and delivered a full-speed blindside shove that sent the rookie crashing to the floor. No ball in sight, no warning, just raw aggression. It looked personal. Everyone watching, whether in the arena or at home, held their breath, waiting for the obvious flagrant 2, but it never came. Instead, Mabrey walked away with nothing more than a routine technical. No ejection, no accountability. And just like that, the game rolled on. Commentators were baffled, fans furious, and social media exploded. How could something that blatant go unpunished? What should have been a decisive moment of discipline became the spark that unraveled the league's authority. And the WNBA's response after the final buzzer? That's when the real controversy began. In the hours after the game, fans expected outrage, a statement, a press release, some acknowledgement that the refs missed the mark. But instead, the WNBA tiptoed into damage control mode, quietly. No tweet, no press conference, just a subtle update on the league's website. Marina Mabrey's foul had been upgraded to a flagrant 2. That's right. The same hit that somehow didn't warrant an ejection in real time was now officially classified as excessive and unnecessary force. A flagrant 2, the kind that should have had Mabrey tossed from the court on the spot. But by waiting until after the game, and after the internet erupted, the league's correction didn't feel like justice. It felt like an admission, an unspoken "our refs blew it." And that didn't sit well with fans, analysts, or even former players. If the hit was serious enough to warrant a flagrant 2 on review, why wasn't it seen that way in the moment? Why did it take an avalanche of tweets, replays, and media pressure for the league to act? The silence spoke volumes, and it raised a darker question. Was this a one-time oversight, or the first crack in a much bigger problem? If fans were upset before, what came next only added fuel to the fire. The official referee report dropped, and instead of owning up to the mistake, the crew doubled down. According to lead referee Ashley Gloss, the contact made by Marina Mabrey did not rise to the level of ejection and did not meet the criteria for a flagrant 2. Just a regular technical, they said, nothing more. That explanation didn't calm anyone. It enraged them. The footage clearly showed a deliberate, full-speed shove away from the ball. Caitlin Clark wasn't even facing Mabrey when it happened. She was blindsided. And yet, the refs saw no grounds for immediate removal. Broadcasters watching in real time were shocked. Analysts replayed it from every angle. Fans flooded comment sections asking the same thing. What were the refs even looking at? It wasn't just a missed call, it was a contradiction. Less than 24 hours later, the league overruled its own officiating crew. So who's really in charge? The referees on the floor, or the executives watching clips the next morning? The WNBA's credibility took a hit that night, not just from the foul, but from the confusion that followed. This wasn't just one blown call, it was part of a pattern that's becoming impossible to ignore. While Marina Mabrey stayed in the game after a dangerous ballless shove, Sophie Cunningham was ejected immediately for what many saw as a routine hard foul. No hesitation, no review, just tossed. And then there was Caitlin Clark, hit with a technical foul for instinctively reacting after getting poked in the eye and bumped after the whistle. How does that add up? From play to play, it felt like the rules were shifting. One foul was a flagrant, another was barely acknowledged. One reaction earned a fine, another was brushed aside. Commentators and players alike were baffled. And fans? They started joking that refs must be spinning a wheel to decide their calls. The inconsistency was glaring, and it wasn't just hurting players, it was eroding trust. Every whistle felt like a gamble, every call a coin flip. In a league trying to grow its audience and spotlight its stars, this kind of chaos sends the wrong message, because if the rules aren't applied fairly, then what's the point of the game? While the league scrambled to manage the fallout, Marina Mabrey didn't lay low. She leaned in. Just hours after her controversial shove was upgraded to a flagrant 2, Mabrey took to TikTok with a bold message. Every time they comment, I make dollars. No apology, no backtracking, just pure defiance, and maybe a little business savvy. It was a move that split the internet. Some fans saw it as disrespectful, a total lack of accountability from a player who nearly took out the league's biggest rising star. Others, they applauded the confidence, the villain arc, the unapologetic energy. Love her or hate her, Mabrey made herself the center of attention, and she knew exactly what she was doing. She turned outrage into clicks, drama into engagement, the moment into marketing. But for critics, that only made things worse. It wasn't just about a foul anymore. It was about attitude, about culture, and about whether the WNBA was rewarding controversy over character. And suddenly, this wasn't just a sports debate. It was a branding war, one that Mabrey seemed more than willing to fight. For anyone familiar with Marina Mabrey's game, this incident didn't come out of nowhere. It was just the latest chapter in a long-running story. Mabrey has built a reputation across the WNBA as one of the league's most aggressive, physical, and at times outright confrontational players. From her time with the Dallas Wings to the Chicago Sky, and now the Connecticut Sun, Mabrey has carried the same edge. Her style is physical, her defense is relentless, and her attitude? Unapologetic. But lately, that edge has started to blur the line between competitive and reckless. This isn't the first time she's clashed with opponents or ignited controversy. In fact, there's even a viral nickname that's followed her, the Evil Twin, coined by DJ Jane to describe Mabrey's darker, more chaotic alter ego on the court. That nickname didn't come from nowhere. Fans have seen the late hits, the post-whistle bumps, the moments where it looks like she's trying to make a statement more than a play. Now, in arenas across the country, boos rain down the moment she touches the ball. And it's not just because of one shove, it's because of a pattern that's starting to define her career. While Marina Mabrey took center stage, the real problem might be the people holding the whistle. The WNBA's officiating crew and the league itself can't seem to agree on what even counts as a flagrant foul. During the game, referees insisted Mabrey's hit wasn't enough for an ejection. Less than 24 hours later, the league reversed them. One crew said it didn't cross the line, another said it did. And fans? They're stuck in the middle, wondering if the rulebook changes with the scoreboard. This isn't just a one-off failure, it's a full-blown officiating crisis. When refs can't deliver consistent calls in the heat of a nationally televised, high-stakes game, it chips away at the very integrity of the sport. The league only corrects mistakes after the backlash. Are they enforcing rules or just reacting to headlines? And with Caitlin Clark's rising stardom drawing more eyes to every game, the pressure on officials is only growing. Every missed call becomes a trending topic. Every bad decision goes viral. But instead of stepping up, the league's silence and backpedals are making it worse. Because when the referees lose control, so does the game. Mabrey's shove was retroactively upgraded. Sophie Cunningham was fined for her hard foul. JC Sheldon got hit too. It was a wave of delayed discipline that felt more like PR cleanup than real accountability. Fans saw it for what it was: damage control, not justice. Because if the league truly believed Mabrey's hit deserved a flagrant 2, why wasn't it called in real time? Why did they wait until the dust had settled and the outrage was unavoidable? That delay didn't just impact the game, it sent a message. A message that discipline depends on virality. That if something's not trending, it might not even matter. This kind of reactive enforcement doesn't protect players. It doesn't build trust. It tells everyone, fans, athletes, coaches, that fairness is optional and accountability is negotiable. And when the league starts chasing public approval instead of leading with clarity, it loses more than control. It loses credibility. This controversy isn't just about Marina Mabrey or Caitlin Clark anymore. It's about what kind of league the WNBA wants to be. Clark isn't just another rookie. She's the face of a new era. A rising star with international attention, sponsorship deals, and massive fan appeal. But when she gets blindsided on national television and the referees let it slide, that's more than a bad call. It's a warning sign. Is the WNBA protecting its stars or leaving them vulnerable in the name of letting them play? Because if Clark can be knocked to the floor without immediate consequence, what does that say to the rest of the league? What message does it send to young fans watching, or to rookies hoping for a fair shot? And what about Sophie Cunningham, called out, fined, and ejected for a less aggressive foul in the same game? The inconsistency doesn't just frustrate viewers, it endangers players and undermines the legitimacy of competition. When enforcement becomes reactive, when protection depends on public outrage, the league isn't just risking injury, it's risking its future, because controversy may trend. But trust, that's what keeps people watching. The WNBA now stands at a crossroads, one where silence isn't an option and delayed penalties don't fix broken trust. If a shove like Marina Mabrey's can go unnoticed until Twitter lights up, then the system isn't working. If Caitlin Clark can be targeted and punished in the same breath, then the rules don't mean anything. And if officiating changes based on backlash instead of standards, then what are we even watching? This wasn't just a bad night, it was a wake-up call. Fans, players, and coaches are demanding more than just fines after the fact. They want consistency, transparency, real-time accountability. So here's the question. Is the WNBA serious about protecting its players and its credibility? Or is it content chasing headlines after the buzzer? Let us know in the comments. Should Marina Mabrey face suspension? Should the referees be held accountable? And most importantly, can the league fix this before it spirals again? If you want more deep dives, raw commentary, and stories the league won't say out loud, like subscribe and turn on notifications, because this isn't the last time controversy will strike, but next time we'll be ready.